Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P-Funk, thinking right out here in my lab, in my book, in the wee hours. I got some work for you. I got a good lesson. We're going to depict our Egyptian and Nubians to show that we were pretty much the same people, because some people say that we were different. So that's what will be the lesson today. We're going to break down this color thing. I got a nice lesson for you. So let's go. Rightisms, 25 rule to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message and story for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking is way of life through mental and spiritual disciplines practiced daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal, reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. You see where we going with this? Let's get it together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. A person is rhetorical, but if you don't know for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock, here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my eye, truth. We back in the book, and it has some discrepancy about the color and this, that, and the third. So we're going to talk about, right thinkers, the ancient Egyptian depictions of Egyptians and Nubians, and then I'm going to go to the Assyrian descriptions of ancient Egyptian and Nubians. I gave you the four branches of mankind the other day, the last lesson. Here they go right here again. And you see the first and the third look pretty much alike. And the second and the fourth are different for a reason. We knew that. In the bottom, there's some more. Those are Nubians and Egyptians, looking pretty much alike. All these pages I'm going to show you, these are all interaction between Nubians and the Assyrians. Nubians and the Egyptians, excuse me. To show you they pretty much look alike, and they had the color discrepancy to show you. Hanging out, chilling, they still look pretty much the same. That's what they're showing. So let me go through the lesson right quick. It should be fun. Now, it said, excuse me. Now, one reason for the confusion about the ethnicity of the ancient Egyptians is due to the misunderstanding about their depictions of themselves. First of all, Kim means black. Stop right there, moving on. The men were represented in their art in two distinct forms, the red or reddish brown and black. They had the spectrum and the rainbow, so they knew colors. What's this? Both in which are used interchangeable. This is what the early Egyptologists, such as Champollion, witnessed before the colors of many depictions had been damaged or lost. In recent times, Western Egyptologists have mistakenly or intentionally categorized these images as evidence of ethnic or racial differences. That's not what it was about. Again, misinterpretation, misunderstanding, and rather than admit that, they're going to keep pushing it. And I got a few fluff. I'm not going to go through all that because it's nonsense. But the racial differences between the ancient Egyptians and the Nubians, there was none. That what they're showing you in the art. Not arguing. No, we're showing you. We know the difference. However, the images from the tomb of Seti I provide insight into this matter. We just showed you that. Now here's another one. You got the Assyrians descriptions of the ancient Egyptian and the Nubians. They walk in the plank, so to speak. I wish I had a bigger screen. But they pretty much, they prisoners. And the guys in the white hats right here, Assyrians. The other guys that's handcuffed, walking with their hands behind them, those are Nubians and Egyptians. I'm going to break that down for you right quick. Got a nice little paragraph about that, explaining that picture. To the left, I just showed you, this was the year 667 BCE, when the Assyrians invaded Kemet, and they pushed out the Egyptians and the Nubians, okay, army, and they captured the capital city of Waset, Thebes. On the relief is the palace of the Assyrian king Ashurbanipal from 669 to 635. There is depicted the battle in which the Assyrians won, defeating the army of Kemet and the Assyrian men with the long beards and the cone hats, okay, that they took the prisoners, which included Cometians, Nubians, as well as the spoils of the victory, back to their homeland. In this relief, the Nubians and the Cometian soldiers are pictured equally, okay, meaning they did not recognize a racial difference, only the ethnic difference. As far as the physical appearance of the Nubians and the Cometians, the Assyrians pictured them as having the same complexion. Thus, here we have independent corroboration from who? The ancient Assyrians, as to the ethnic homology of the Nubian and Cometian. I mean, they live in close proximity, so they pretty much look alike. They tell you, a man who don't make the baby, and say, you raise long enough, it'll look like you. Old concept, all right? But at the bottom, I can't see it. You can't see the color differences. But this is what they call, excuse me, the baptism. You see that? You got Haru and Thought giving him a baptizing him, and I'm going to break that down for you right quick. All right, that's the next paragraph I'm about to read. You know, we had a guy called Philip Herodias. He was the successor or little brother to Alexander the Greek. And it's depicted in red in accordance with what? With the ancient Egyptian iconographical standards to what? To denote Egyptians. Philip was not an Egyptian by birth. Why? But he was Egyptian by conquest and dictatorship. He was the pharaoh sitting on the throne at that time, calling the shots, and he wanted what all the other pharaohs got. Okay, you see right here, they got the hat on him in the middle. He's the one with the big hat in the middle, wanting to be a pharaoh right here. Okay. So he wanted to be a pharaoh, and as a dictator, he wanted to be an Egyptian. So what he did, he wanted the people to think of him as an Egyptian king. And the practice was to depict Egyptians as red. Okay? However, otherwise we have been Asiatics and other depictions of pale white. This means that the red color is not to denote race or color or the actual people, but to demonstrate a difference, the differentiation one group of people from another for information purposes and not for segregation in the modern sense of Western racism from the Napoleonic expedition. They came in and just lost their mind and thought everything was what they said, and it really wasn't. Why? Misunderstood. They didn't understand what they saw. Down here, I got a picture for the four races. You got the ancient Egyptians, Nubians pictured on the tomb of Ramses III. Same picture, the Egyptians, Europeans, Nubians, and the Assyrians, the Semites they called them, with the beards and the big hats, okay? They had hair texture that was different. They had beards. The Egyptians and Nubians was clean shaven. Okay, no hair on their face. And the tomb of Seti II, they showed you again from 1306 to 1290 below, which comes earlier than the Ramses, okay? And it shows a different depiction, and it note that the same labels are described with the Egyptians and the Nubians. Same picture, same thing. And watch this. Over here, you got a group of Nubian men below showing and working together for Ramses in the Tower of Abu Simbel. And now here, these are all gatherings, festivals, and they all pretty much look the same. Okay, they're hanging out together, they good, all right? And you see a lot of people with lotus flowers to their nose, okay? You see right here, she got the lotus going, sitting down here. He got the lotus in his hand. They were doing some stuff with the lotus, okay? And they found that the lotus properties, has hallucinogenic properties. So yeah, it was getting nice, obviously. All right, now I just showed you a bunch of pictures. Let me break it down for you where we are at the bottom. The two pictures above, which I just showed you right here, again, caravan, all Nubians and African Egyptians. Watch this. Now I'm gonna break that down for you. The two pictures above are extremely important. Why? Because to our understanding of the ethnicity of the ancient Egyptian and Nubians and Ethiopians. They said that the Ethiopians are the only people that the white man didn't colonize, okay, on the continent of Africa. Everybody else been hit. Ain't no more versions. It is a rendition by what a French Orientalist and the architect was the Pisa Avenis from 1807 to 1879 ACE. Okay, this is later on. And it understood by the Orthodox Egyptologists to be a procession of Nubians who are bringing gifts of gold to the Hu and the victor of Cush for the Egyptian king. You know who that was? Tutankhamun, from 1333 BCE to 1323, 10-year span. And note that the classic style of depiction, the Nubians were black or brown skinned, and the pronounced cheekbone, line, and scarification. If you see the example to the right, they all pretty much had that line of face jaw, as well as they wore the feather in their head, and all of them respected each other. In the same view, there is 5 figures that were standing behind the ones that was prostrating. 3 men up front is actually praying. I don't know if you can see it clearly. These guys right here, they down praying. They got the other guy standing behind them. Yeah, it's there. There you go. There, right here. All these guys on their prayer, prostrating themselves before the king. Okay. Now you notice here that the depiction of the skin coloration of the ancient Egyptians are the same as used in the Nubians, brown and black, while ancient Egyptians and Nubians are depicted individually in brown and black color. The alternating pattern of brown and black is also used to more easily differentiate individuals when people are depicted in close proximity. We pretty much look alike. That's what they say. All right. Now let's get to the color thing. I want to get the last part about this is the color. And it's titled as Right Thinkers. Let's talk about the mysticism of color in our ancient Egyptian art. They served the purpose. Everything they did was symbolic, and if you understood it, it made a lot of sense. Let's talk about this right quick. Many Egyptologists and others have tried to put forth the idea that the reddish-brown males and the yellow or the white for females colors which the ancient Egyptians used in their artistic renditions of themselves represented the hue of their skin. The argument is bogus. Why? Because since it is well known that to two people of different skin colors, pigmentation mate, they will produce offspring displaying a mixture of both in the two hues, as well as the range of skin pigmentation hues, which may extend even beyond the ranges of represented by the parents. If the grandparents of those of even earlier generations were in a different skin hues, that's carried down through generation. So even if the ancient Egyptians had consisted of a population of red and yellow or white women, they would quickly transform themselves into pink or gold, since red and yellow produces gold, and red and white produces pink. So it ain't about the color, okay? Further, these mixtures would further combine until eventually only one hue would remain. The color spectrum, here we go, ranges in order from the highest being violet through blue, green, yellow, orange, and then red. the 7 colors of chakra, 7 colors of rainbow, they understood color, so they didn't confuse the colors, okay? To them, colors were symbolic. They're going to break it down for you right here. Where we at? Okay, the color spectrum. And watch this. Red, now the color red and white holds special mystical significance. It's an esoteric symbolism that you need to understand. I'm going to break it down for you right here. And this is why we are so many ancient Egyptian couples represented by them, which the man painted reddish brown and the woman painted yellow or fully white. In color therapy and art practice in modern times today, it is well known as the ancient Egyptians that the color red understood as being an agitation or exciting, stimulating color to the mind. Red, my favorite color. But white, on the other hand, was considered in ancient Egyptian as what? Soothing, calming, as the red male hippo was considered violent, mischievous, and destructive, while the female was considered calm and helpful, Mother Virgin, okay? And blue also now is considered as being soothing also, relaxing to the mind. Blue is that natural color. Mystically, red and white complement each other. How? As red symbolizes sexual potency and virility, and now white having the capacity to reflect all colors, okay, symbolizes what? Pregnancy and potential, hence female. This is why the Cometian pharaohs wears what they call the double crown, consisting of red, male, white, female, also elements. Note that when considering the colors from a scientific standpoint, what? And their effect on the human mind, we obtain meanings that is not to be ascribed to what? The modern concept. Why? Because of the race or racism. It wasn't about that back then. The colors did not refer to races, but to energies and behavior patterns. They knew the difference in the colors. Excuse me. But mystically, the color gold, okay, symbolized what? The sun. What the sun symbolized? The spirit, as well as what? Eternity and immortality. The color black symbolizes the source of what? Of all things. Yeah, you heard me. As it represents the capacity to what? To absorb all colors. Everything in creation, has color in order to be seen. Black does not reflect any other color due to its stability. This isn't colorless. That is uncolored by time and space. The realm of creation, duality, and conditioning, where colors exist. Another way to understand this is that black absorbs all colors and does not let their light escape. Black hole, you come in, ain't nothing coming out. Okay, perfect concept. We know that now. They knew that a long time ago. They put it right there. And light don't escape, right? White is opaque and thereby reflects what? All colors off itself, which is the reason why movies use a white screen instead of black. This is why in mythology, philosophy of Kemet in India, what? The god of Sar, pay attention, the god of Sar and Amun in ancient Egypt, and the god Vishnu and Krishna in India are referred to what? As the black others, the black ones. Amun and Krishna are also represented as the black or sometimes blue. They represent the transcendent beyond ordinary consciousness. Asar also symbolizes, you ready for this? Nothingness. And this is an allusion to the mind when it is void of concepts or thoughts. This spiritual idea is akin, watch this, to the term from the Buddhist is shunya, used to describe what? The void that an aspirant strives to achieve in Buddhism. Nothingness, clear the mind, void, that's what they call it. And now to break down the colors right quick. Yeah, I got a few more minutes. All right, I got to get this in. Red plus white. This means what? Red represents spirit, white represents matter, and that equals creation. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. Okay? I just told my brother, we probably met for a long time. I said, bro, did you know that compass and the square meant spirit and matter? He said, nope. I said, neither did I. But they know it. And we've been saying it all this time, and we didn't know that. So again, know what you're practicing. Get information wise. You may think you know, and you might really not know. So now we know that. Excuse me. But these colors lead to what? Production, creation. Hello, two opposites come together. In what? Time and space. Physical body, us, as well as perfection in the physical plane. Red, spirit again, plus yellow equals orange or gold. Thus, that means what? Spirit plus supplemented matter equals what? Eternity. So therefore, these colors make each other whole and transcendental, in essence, symbolizing what? The movement from two to becoming one. Spirit and matter coming one again. As above, so below. That's coming from duality to singularity. Back to the one. You have to realize that what is in you. Gold equals what? Spirit and eternity. That's sun. Blue, moving toward that violet, it leads to what? After that is black. We go back to black, where we come from. And black equals transcendence. That's the concept. I got another one we're going to put down for the mystical symbolism. Now I can make that a whole lesson. So I'm going to stop right here, get that out the way. I had to get this in because they've been biting me and talking at me all week, so I got to get it out the way. A lot of fuss in between, but I didn't want to bring that to you. This arguing about the color on the Egyptians, that's a waste of time. So I passed that by. I got some new one coming for you. The mystical symbolism of what we call nothingness from the Egyptian perspective. Right, thinkers? I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'll be right back. You know how to do it. In closing, right, thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles a day. So I never know that my right thinkers have passed away. I'll be right back.